Good. Hey. You be taller? Yeah. I think I'm like 6'8" now. Yes. Yeah, I'm so proud of it.
3-1 Valley Sports. Coach, not asking you to give away your trade secrets here, but without Jarrett Allen tonight, and you've got Joel Embiid on the other side. Just what is your approach to the game plan against him?
I mean, it's everybody has to do their part. You can't expect one guy, even with Jarrett playing, to stop a guy like Embiid. I think he's proven that over time. Most of the elite players in this league, it's a team effort. It's how difficult can you make it? And we know some of these guys are good enough, even when you make it extremely difficult, they can find a way. So, all his touches have to be difficult touches, trying to keep him off his spots. And then, put as many bodies around him as you can.
I was chatting with Donovan today just about his efficiency. And he was saying just how it's not just about just field goal percentage, it's about other things he's doing on the floor. How do you guys categorize or define, your offensive efficiency?
It's basically, are we creating the shots that we want? We have what we call our shot profile. And if, are we executing things properly to get those shots? Make or miss. Obviously, the makes help, but, make or miss, are we executing enough to get the shots that we're looking for?
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. JB, Kevin came back for the one game, and he tried to get through it, and he hasn't played since. What happened in that game? Did anything happen in that game?
No, it just was a matter of how comfortable he was. And it's, he wanted to play, and we wanted to give him an opportunity to play. But just where the injury is and was, that was just, a few days after it happened, just how sensitive it was to do the things that he does. Like, so much of what he does is with his hands. He's not out there out jumping people, and, he's got to be able to shoot it and pass it, play make, and he plays in traffic. So it was sensitive and uncomfortable. So we'll, try to get it to calm down, and then he'll be back.
We've had a lot of conversations about Karras and his changing roles. And he was talking this morning about sacrifice. Is there a way for you to blend the things that Karras does best and have that equate to what is best for the Cavs? Or is it just he's just got to fill in where we need him ultimately?
No, and I think we'd be doing the team a disservice if we didn't allow all our guys to play to their strengths. If we just put guys in a box and said, you just have to do whatever's best for the team, even though you're uncomfortable, you're not going to play your best basketball. In the long run, you're going to hurt the team. So we have to find a way to get Karras comfortable and let him play to his strengths. I do think, the pairing of moving him to start games, with that second group and playing with one of those guards and then being able to feature him more will give him a little bit more opportunity to get comfortable and play to his strengths, and then again, just because he doesn't start the game doesn't mean he doesn't finish it. If he finds his comfort zone throughout the game, then he's out at the end of the game with those guys. And now he's got a rhythm. He's touched the ball some, teams got to worry about him. So I think there's a way to do both. And I think he's capable of doing both.
Customers of the Athletic. JB, how is Jarrett progressing? Because now it was listed like a low back contusion.
Yeah. He's, from what I understand, he's gotten better. And then it's just a matter of, how quickly he can progress. It's been, slow. Obviously it's not where he wants to be, where he'd be able to play, but, he's doing things in the water and, trying it out even on game days to see. And, again, we just won't put him out there when he's not in position to protect himself. And that's kind of where he is now.
And then you guys just passed just at the quarter mark of the season. What has stood out to you, both positive things and things to work on at this point in the season?
A lot. I think there's been a lot of positive things. I think, on the outside looking in, it appears to be ups and downs. But, for us, it's about the growth. And I think the team is growing. Chemistry is going to be huge. And it's not just personalities blending. I think our personalities blended pretty quickly, but, understanding each other on the floor and playing together on the floor. And we talked about in the games, like, I think you've seen an increase in our ability to finish and close games, and how we work our pairings and different lineups and those things. So, I think it's been fun so far working with the guys. Obviously, there's been some moments of frustration, but we're enjoying the process and heading in the right direction.
Tim Elkhorn, Cavs Audioverse. JB, earlier this year, I asked you about a timeline when you bring new guys in, especially an elite player like a Donovan Mitchell. You were in a front that is going to take some time. But now with the injuries and the absences, has that timeline been thrown off or even delayed?
You never, and again, you can go back and look at the amount of minutes all of our guys have played together, and it's and it's not a lot. But again, the season is about doing this, right? It's not about hitting your peak early, because it just typically doesn't happen. It's a long season. You got to continue to progress and continue to get better. So I still can't give you a timeline. I'd be lying to you if I were just to give you, random numbers up here, but we got to get our guys on the floor together, and we got to get our guys on the floor together against different levels of competition. We've got to get our guys on the floor together in end of game situations. There's just so much that we haven't been able to do yet, that we've got to continue to work on.
So to follow up on that, is there an aspect of the game where you can see it's been impacted the most by not having those combinations or those lineups together?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the game overall, right? Because so many guys bring so many different things. And, when your lineups change, when your rotations change, you're still doing the same thing systematically, but other guys have different strengths and they're playing to those strengths. Now we've got to figure out how do we work this guy with this guy and their strengths together. So those are the things that I think, that we need to work on. And, time will give us the opportunity, and health, obviously, too.
Evan Damron, right down Euclid. JB, Mars is questionable tonight. How is he progressing? Is he going to play this evening?
He's getting better, but he's questionable.
Really quick, JB. You guys are one of the best teams in the NBA when it comes to pick and roll, and we knew that coming in with Darius and Donovan. But do you feel like you're at a point where you need to add like a little bit more diversity to the offense, or do you look at it saying like we're great at that, so we're just going to keep being great at that?
No, I think we're good at that, so let's start there, right? And then it's a matter of what your personnel around it allows you to do. If you look at our personnel, we don't have a lot of the natural movers and cutters and guys who come off screens for shots and things like that. We've tried to implement some of that stuff because our big guys can really pass the ball. So we work a lot of pinch game and two-man actions and those types of things with the big having the ball in their hands. But like what our guys initiate with pick and roll should still be able to create ball movement, right? If you're going to try to figure out how to stop two guys in pick and roll, typically it means bringing a third guy. When you bring that third guy, the ball has to move to the right guys. Now the defenses are chasing. And I think that's how you create the motion and the movement that we're looking for. But it goes into, teams are going to take that away. You got to make shots around it. So we've got to do a better job than we have lately of making shots. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. Thank you.